cost-cutting measures to curb government spending. For more, let's go to the president of humanitarian agency Refugees International and former USAID official who served in the Biden and Obama administration, Jeremy Konyndyk. So, Jeremy, welcome. First of all, Musk's federal worker order, it's dividing even the Trump administration. Some have told workers to disregard Musk's demand, such as the FBI Director Kash Patel, there was the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. It's confusing, isn't it? I mean, how should workers respond to this?
Well, I think what it underscores is Elon Musk is kind of making it up as he goes here. There's no professionalism to this. It's this sort of impromptu ad hoc amateur hour that is really just intended to diminish and belittle the workers of the federal government. They all have in terms of reference for their jobs, they all have bosses they report to who know what they do, who are responsible for managing and overseeing them. Elon Musk has no idea what they do. He is in no position to judge what most federal workers do. And I think that's why you see many leaders in the Trump administration, even somebody like Kash Patel, who is a loyalist to President Trump, pushing back and saying, we're not going to comply with this ridiculous order.
And does the OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, have the authority, except through regulation, to order another agency's employees to do anything? Unions representing thousands of these federal workers are suing over this email.
OPM normally sets kind of broad standards and guidance for the whole federal government. It certainly does not assess the performance of individual employees at individual agencies. They leave that, rightly, traditionally, to the agencies themselves who know their missions. So I think it is entirely right to question the legality of this. And I think what we've seen from Elon Musk over the last month is he's really not bothering to operate by any kind of law and procedure as he goes about destroying agencies like USAID and trying to push out government workers.
There's been a lot of concern over the confidential and sensitive information to what employees are working on in some of those departments, isn't there?
Yes, there is. The federal government has a lot of what's called PII, personally identifiable information, on its own workers. That is controlled information. It cannot be just disclosed willy-nilly. And of course, then those government personnel have a lot of access to information about everyday Americans and American businesses. And there are no controls and no limitations right now on what Elon Musk is doing. And that means, if he uses that in an abusive way, there's nothing right now stopping him from that apart from these lawsuits.
And as a former USAID official, the administration's putting thousands of these workers on leave. What is going to be the impact of this?
Well, it's going to greatly diminish America's standing in the world. It's going to do immense harm to the millions, tens of millions of people around the world who have always been able to depend on support and solidarity and partnership by the U.S. government. If there were an earthquake in the world tomorrow, normally the U.S. would deploy search and rescue teams, and often the very first foreign search and rescue teams to show up would be the American teams. Those teams can no longer get off the ground because they basically pushed out all of the staff who were responsible for deploying them.
And what is the collateral damage of these DOGE cuts overall? Where else do you think he's going to target?
Well, in a USAID context, which is what I'm most familiar with, it is damaging HIV programs. 35 of 39 countries that have reported the status of their U.S.-funded programs have said there have been major disruptions. I've talked to many humanitarian peers who've said that they are having to pull back their life-saving field programs, shut down nutrition stabilization centers, things that really do save lives day in, day out are being disrupted right now. And I think if they are that cavalier about costing lives abroad, it's really frightening what they might contemplate as they begin focusing on agencies closer to home here in the U.S.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much to Jeremy Konyndyk.